Ryan, this week on the weekly show, all of the episodes, I feel like what's our best bet is to do things that doesn't get us kicked off YouTube. With that said, I'd like to apologize to the World Health Organization and YouTube, and I'd like to explain to them that I'm just reading from the Washington Examiner. The coronavirus most likely originated from a lab leak, the U.S. Department concludes.
Oh, a department in the U.S., huh?
Yeah.
What department, David?
It was not very long ago that stating the lab leak theory on YouTube could get you banned on YouTube. I just want to keep that. Up. Keep it out there. It may still be the case. I'm not sure. We'll find out. A lab leak is the most likely culprit for the COVID-19 respiratory illness that devastated the world. The U.S. Energy Department reportedly concluded. How the U.S. Energy Department is the one concluding this and not, I don't know, like the FDA or the CDC or
the military,
Department of Health.
The military.
Regardless, at least one department has got their shit together.
What about the NIH research lab that received the funding?
There was no gain of function research. If you just do like your best like Family Guy, more the Jew impression, you can get a good Fauci.
You're trying to say that? Never mind, Dave. Go ahead.
Be careful what you say, Mr. West.
Yeah.
Leaning on new intelligence, the department, which oversees numerous United States labs and research centers, made a judgment in, quote, low confidence that the lab leak is the most likely origin of the pandemic per a classified intelligence analysis shared with the White House and Congress.
But not with the public.
If it's classified.
It's definitely...
I'm just saying, if it's classified, how did the Washington Examiner get it? Probably someone familiar with the matter.
No, this will be called a leak in a future news article.
Oh, I'm sure. Just like the Supreme Court.
Dude, look at this screw-in light bulb security camera. How fucking great is Big Brother?
Sick. Look at this. Oh, it's removed.
I see you too.
China pushing conspiracy theory that COVID-19 came from a U.S. military base. The Energy Department.
Ads used to stand still, and now they're like mobile video.
Yes.
Yeah, sorry. It's crazy. It's really.
There's crazy. It's back. Don't worry.
Big Brother.
The product blew your mind. This isn't the point, Ryan. We're off topic.
Yeah.
We're getting squirreled hard here. The Energy Department joins the FBI in its conclusion. Hold on. The Energy Department joins the FBI. If up here it says the Energy Department concluded it. If they're joining the FBI, does that mean the FBI concluded it also?
Well, that's probably why it's classified, David.
4 other agencies believe COVID-19 is most likely derived from natural transmission. 2 agencies, the CIA, haven't reached a firm conclusion yet.
What do I?
Why is there so many different agencies coming to different conclusions?
Well, I'm pretty sure. Oh my God, this is crazy.
Do you have a theory on this, Ryan?
Well, it's just, there's always been the theory that like the CIA is like the clandestine organization, right? Which is like paramilitary, para-government. It's like outside of all the resources. And it's really, that's like when they say the deep state, that's what they really mean is the CIA, right? The FBI is like the redheaded stepchild, right? Like they take the fall, they take the blame because they're like the local, the FBI is more local. The CIA is abroad and dealing with government overthrows and coups and economic warfare and intelligence and non-nefarious things as well.
You mean like overthrowing leadership in places like Ukraine?
Yeah, and probably installing. The reason they haven't probably made a conclusion is the CIA probably has people inside that lab in Wuhan that was doing extensive research about like why we're trying to fucking get gain of function research for whatever reason, and then it just makes me wonder, like, I'm sure if you were looking to the NIH, they've received Bill and Melinda Gates funding. So.
No, probably. Specifics about the new intelligence that led to the Energy Department's shift remain unclear. despite diverging perspectives between U.S. agencies, they appear to agree that COVID-19 did not derive from a Chinese biological weapons program. Since the outbreak of the pandemic, there was widespread speculation that the virus stemmed from a lab leak, fueled by the fact that the virus was first officially identified not far from the Wuhan Institute of Virology,
Well,
or
that's
specifically the COVID-19 building.
And that's what's also, it's not like a theory. This is just like a hunch or like a creative idea, you'll even say. But the Chinese steal everything else that we do and fuck with it and try to make their own copy of it and weaponize. I mean, our military weaponizes everything. The battle for AI is happening for military purposes first, right? Cyber warfare and attacks. So why wouldn't, we've seen in the war on terror, anthrax and mailboxes. I'm young enough to remember that,
Yeah.
So why wouldn't I think that something like COVID-19 that eventually shut down the whole world, all our supply chains all at the same time, like before an election, why wouldn't I think that it wouldn't be the pretext for like a grander war planned by certain governments or militaries? Like it's not, that's what's always been my thing. And my big argument is like, what is more perfect than a pretext for war than this bioweapon that can shut down the globe and control things? And I mean, killing supply chains is the number one thing you do in war when you battle wars. And it's just.
Well, it's interesting because who seems to have, I don't know if I want to use the term benefited, but who perhaps benefited the most from this?
The United States.
You think the United States benefited the most from COVID?
Them and China, yeah.
See, I would say China definitely benefited the most.
I think the only thing China retained was supply chains, though. Like it didn't. I mean,
right, but that's so key right now.
Right.
Go to any car dealership and try to buy a car right now and see what happens.
Right, but we have enough here to not worry. Like that's why we only worry about inflation. Like you haven't heard shortages; you just hear supply chain interruptions. Well, it may be the same thing. They're just terming it different, so we don't think of scarcity. Sure. But like
we haven't heard of shortages because the signs at the grocery store say that due to increased demand.
Yeah, and that's to limit panic, and I know that. I know we're on a long wind here, but it's still like this is the fifth generation psychological warfare. That's like all this is taken into account by all these governments that apparently aren't doing anything. Like I just find it so fucking hard. We seen Rand Paul question Fauci and lie and everything. All the emails, like that was just admitted leaks and all these other things. This is just a basically bullshit news article that's suspecting things and having evidence and linking to things that were already out there. It's just crazy that it was suppressed for many, 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 many years now. We're talking 3 years now. High school, once again, my another sting of mine, high schoolers graduated under this time, and now they're supposed to be voting on a post-COVID world that they don't even understand what it was like before. Like it's just too many coincidences like that in society all at once to make me think that it's not a bioweapon or a grander scheme like psychology and all this warfare.
China, Brian, just in case you were worried, China has adamantly denied that the virus was the result of a lab leak and even promulgated theories that the United States was responsible for unleashing the brutal illness upon the world initially. The lab leak theory was deemed a conspiracy by some scientists, but has gained some credibility in its time since. That's weird. It's almost like when you start allowing them to do the science. The initial explanation is that the virus spread from a wet market near Wuhan, China, which, for the record, we always thought was ridiculous.
But also possible. It's also possible. But
Sure.
It's also possible if there's a lab that studies the fucking virus, it probably came from there.
Yeah, and even if the wet market was the second stop, right, of the virus, right? Let's say there's a lab near the wet market, right? It comes from the lab, but then, whatever, the dogs get it or whatever it is. They give it to a bat. They're eating bats, right? They have bat sandwiches there, apparently.
Yeah, what if like the garbage gets eaten by a raccoon and then the raccoon gets the virus and then that
it's
raccoon
all possible
gets eaten?
That it transmitted naturally after it came from a lab. I'm not saying that's not possible. But it came from the fucking lab first. Like, some bat didn't just get the disease from the air. Like, that's not how it works.
We're not scientists, though, David. So
We're not scientists. Public experts have given differing conclusions about where the virus came from. For example, former Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Director Dr. Robert Redfield said it likely came from the lab, while Dr. Anthony Fauci concluded it was more likely from a natural occurrence.
Why is that guy a former?
Yeah, it's weird. Former, I can't imagine why.
And that's why he's probably telling the truth. It's because he doesn't got to worry about his job.
Here's the thing, Ryan. I think the thing that's most important out of all of this is that this is my bigger takeaway, right? Whether it did or didn't come from a lab. If you said this a year, 2 years ago, you were silenced on the internet. And I'm curious to see what happens now. But clearly, the Washington Examiner can put up articles about it, so maybe we're safe. We'll see, Ryan. We'll see.
See, Dave, this is what's beautiful about them, is they're so smart. So they take your liberty, and then when they give little pieces of it back, they, let you have it, so they make you think you won something.
Yeah, we won, Ryan.
Yeah, we won, all right. We got to say what was right.
2 years later, just in time.
2 years later, I'm glad I could tell the truth after the fact. Dave Ryan, December 17th, 73. Catch us Monday through Friday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Me, Dave, and his new wonderful glasses will be here.
They're my pseudo-intellectual glasses.
Yeah, David, you do look 5 IQ points smarter on the internet. I, on the other hand, just look like, I got called cute this weekend as a 31-year-old. Anyways, I'll catch you guys later. David, as always, thank you for your time.
Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Ryan.